Welcome back to Metroid Fusion. We are in Sector 6. Where is this? Nock? I think it's Nock. The Nocturnal, the dark area. And we were told that the security robot that we encountered earlier, or was it a mining robot? I think it was a security robot, has gone rogue, probably X-infected, and is somewhere in this sector. We've been given no direction about where it is, just that it's here. So let's go see what we can find. Menus are great. There's just a billion of them. These guys aren't nearly as aggressive as Super's menus. These guys just kind of chill. Music is a little spooky. I'm not sure if it was spooky our first time through here, or if that's because we don't know where the mining robot is. Oh, another one that I have no idea how you're supposed to figure out is that this is a thing right here. I think you could get this pretty much whenever. I don't know what would be stopping you from getting it your first pass through. Other than that, I couldn't tell if there was any kind of indication that it was there. I mean, there wasn't a rock in the wall at that very specific location, but there aren't rocks in the wall in a lot of locations. Hey. Okay, so rationale would say if we're going somewhere, if we're coming back here to fight something, to find something, to kill something, whatever, we're probably going to be, in this exploration-based game, going to a new area we haven't been to before. So where is it that we haven't been to before? And everything on map actually looks accurate. I don't see anything on the map that immediately jumps out at me. However, this room to the side is a little suspicious. And I say that because in what game, in what Metroid experience, especially this one, do you have a doorway that goes to a dead end with nothing at the other end? There gotta be an item or something in there. You don't just go, here's a room for literally no reason. Okay. Ooh. Okay, that's a red door, so we couldn't have come here until we opened up that level of security that we did before. Okay. So be aware, this is a point of no return. It's going to be quite a time before we can go back. I want missiles. Don't think I can get them yet, but probably will be able to get them soon. Hey, how you guys doing down there? To be honest, that room up there with the water along the bottom, little suspicious. Little suspicious. Oh, they make little noises! What a cute little noise. They're doing their best. Save rooms. Those aren't suspicious at all. Means something important's coming up soon at the very least.
Warning, no entry without authorization.
I mean...
Warning, no entry without authorization.
Whatever you say.
Warning, no entry without authorization.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Warning, no entry without authorization.
Okay, go ahead and be that way.
Warning, no entry without authorization.
What? I get it.
Warning, no entry without authorization.
I left. You're fine.
Warning, no entry without authorization. Warning, no entry without authorization.
I feel like I'm genuinely not supposed to be here.
No entry without authorization.
That was a high security gate. Security camera out?
Without authorization.
Ooh. High security gate?
Warning, no entry without authorization.
Camera out front, restricted area? All hidden off here at the bottom of Knock?
Warning, no
There is a little
entry without
suspicious.
authorization. Warning,
Nothing?
no
Okay.
entry without authorization. Warning, no
And now we have this alarm blaring. Yeah, genuinely feel like that was kind of a place. And you had to go through the level 4 security gate to even get down here.
Warning, no entry without authorization.
I found our body. Okay, so this boss is a sack of crap. Just gonna put that out there. This boss is a sack of crap. One of the... I mentioned a few points of me getting kind of frustrated before. One of them was Nightmare. It took me longer than I thought it should to actually get a handle on how to fight that boss. The other one was this guy, who just felt like he was in... It's like almost insulting. Like, this boss is a boss that kicks you when you're down. This is it, though. This is all it does. So you gotta get up... Okay, so the ground is electric, for starters. Okay, I was kind of hoping I could make those go up a little bit so I could get on the... Nope, come back, come back. Gotcha. Nope. So the way this thing jumps around the arena means it can hit you during times when it feels like you had no prep, no problem. So, like, you just kind of get hit, and it doesn't feel like there was anything you could really do about it. Just like, nope, there you go, you got hit. Good job. The trick I've found, A, is to always stay on its left-hand side. Just always stay on its side and angle down in order to kill it. Oh, that wasn't even that hard. Shocking. And he's got a beam! Wave Beam. I was wondering where Wave Beam was. And here it was. So the trick with this boss that I found, I got so annoyed at this boss. Because, like, it's so hard to hit its core, and you feel like you have to be directly over top of it, but it's nearly impossible to actually get directly over top of it and shoot straight down. And the way it jumps around the arena like that, with seemingly no rhyme or reason, if there is a pattern, I never found it. I mean, maybe there is, and I just haven't been observant. I don't know. But this thing would, it would jump up and knock you off. And then you fall into the water, which is electrified, so you take additional damage. So, like, I already feel like I got hit with no warning, and then you are also going to do additional damage to me for falling in the water. It feels like falling into the water and then taking that damage should be like a punishment for hecking up on my part. But instead, it feels like it's unavoidable. Like, we're just gonna do a bunch of damage to you and then doing more damage to you in a way that you had no way of knowing if it was coming or not. The safest way I found to fight it is just to stay over here on the left-hand side. I also found it really hard to jump up and grab onto the thing up top. To jump onto the rails up top. Because, well, okay, no, that's it. That was entirely my fault. The reason I had trouble jumping up and grabbing onto the rails was entirely my fault. So it was because I was jumping up, and then I would let off jump and hold up, with the expectation that my momentum would carry me up into the things. But because I was letting off jump a little bit early, as soon as you let off jump, your vertical velocity is immediately cut and you fall back down. So there is no momentum that I was expecting. But my thinking was it was because I pressed up in the air, but it's not. As long as you hold jump, you keep your upwards momentum. So that was entirely on me for not entirely understanding or paying attention to the physics of the game. It's very easy to just hold jump, even from in the water. Hold jump, press up, and you will grab back on. So that was on me. That was on me. But it was an additional layer of frustration and another part of what got me generally frustrated and made me want to redo things. And a lot of people in the comments have told me that this is another boss that just genuinely frustrates people, and once you figure out the best way to handle it, it's genuinely not bad. Kind of like with Nightmare, I feel, where once you figure it out, it's not bad. But before figuring it out, like, getting to that point was really frustrating. And that may be a level of the developers testing the boss, knowing how they want you to fight it, and fighting it that way for testing, and going, oh yeah, this is fine. But maybe they didn't have enough blind opinions going into the fight. I don't know. Don't know how development went, don't know what's going on. But yeah, a couple of people have mirrored my thoughts that this was kind of frustrating. The easiest way, though, is just to stay off to the left. Just, like, chill over here. Jump up and grab on. Always stay to the things left, diagonally down, so you can shoot diagonally down. And when it pops up missiles, you shoot straight forward to take out the missiles. As soon as you're done with the last missile, you can get a couple hits in. And that's really when you should be trying to get your hits in. Just stay off to the side until it shoots missiles. And then as soon as it does, kill missiles, you can get a couple shots in. And you saw it didn't take even that long to go down. As long as you take care of that, alright. And now we got the wave beam! So these, like... I feel like narratively, I would have... it would have made more sense to me to give you wave first and then plasma. Like, that would have made more sense to me, because now you get to go back, and you would go back with, like, plasma, and at him and be like, oh crap, you have plasma. What was I supposed to do? Instead of like, don't fight the SIX until you get plasma. Okay, got plasma. Still don't fight it. Just keep doing other stuff for a while. So I feel like swapping the two would have made the narrative make a little bit more sense. I understand that mechanically they gave you wave last because a wave lets you open gates from the wrong side, which is then a way to prevent you from going to some areas before you need to. They can use it as a progressive tool, a progression tool. Whereas plasma, they can't really use as a progression tool.
No entry without authorization.
Okay, also we can get this now because we can do this.
Warning. No
So I get that.
without authorization.
I think it also would have made me feel better about plasma
No entry
last,
without
because plasma is supposed to be the big oomph. Literally all it does is make your beam stupid powerful. I mean, it pierces through enemies, but that's part of the being stupid powerful. Whereas wave, it's not powerful, it just goes through walls.
warning.
The graphic on this, though,
Authorization.
for the aesthetic
No
of
entry
Metroid
without
Fusion,
authorization.
real cool.
Warning.
Like, given how kind of cartoony and overdone some of the graphics are, these, like, 3 DNA beams coming together, cool stuff. Like, this feels heckin' endgame. This feels you got your tri-DNA beam, man. This is where your crap's at. I feel like Fusion aesthetic aside, I maybe would have personally preferred something a little simpler, but still with the DNA aspect of it. Give me something like R-Type's DNA beam, but maybe with a third beam down the center, so it looked like you had the one beam down the center and the outside 2 rotating around it, but as like 3 individual slim beams rotating around. I think that would have looked real heckin' cool.
Without authorization.
But all right. Okay, thoughts on boss, thoughts on wave, all out and done. And we're once again trapped down here, but we're trapped down here with an unbelievably powerful weapon. Like, so I mentioned that plasma was only very marginally more powerful than the previous beam, and most of its damage came from the fact that it pierced through and did damage per frame that it was overlapping an enemy. This made it do very variable damage. Like, sometimes it would feel like it did a stupid amount of damage, and sometimes it would feel like it did no damage at all. And that's based on really how your shots worked, how many ticks it overlapped an enemy, the angle you went over them. Because sometimes it would get more of that piercing or less of that piercing. Or something against, like, Nightmare's face, where you got very little in the way of that beam overlapping the face. Wave actually does significantly more damage than plasma, because it, of course, carries on all of the various features that the other beams had. It still does damage per tick, but now it actually is doing flat more damage. So no matter what you saw from plasma, this will just do a stupid amount more damage. Oh, and weird stuff, like an enemy having a little bit of a hitbox or whatever that you dink off of. No, not so anymore. It does still retain the, if an enemy is weak to your regular, or if an enemy doesn't take any damage from a regular beam, you have to hit him with a charge beam, or a missile, or something. Wave will still dink off of them, and you have to hit them with, like, charge wave, or a beam, or something, or a missile, or something. And I don't know about that. I feel like, especially given that in Metroid 2, Wave's chief attribute was that it would pierce through enemy armor and be able to hit something that otherwise you could not hit, because it would just dink off of them, your beam would just dink off of them. I feel like this would have been primo opportunity to just let you normal beam everything But alas,
Authorization.
they do not.
Warning. No entry without authorization.
I feel like if there was any...
Warning. No entry
I feel like if there was anything that I would call something like an objective flaw,
without
it would be real swell if there were less enemies that required you to charge.
authorization.
It kind of makes your regular beam feel almost useless sometimes.
Without authorization.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that was a point of no return, and there's literally no way out of here other than this right here.
Warning.
So,
Entry without
this is all we can do.
Warning. No
I have to morph to get in here. I wonder how anybody else gets in here. Scientists just have to, like, crawl in through the vent.
entry without authorization.
Save room.
Warning. No entry without authorization.
This is a cool looking little
Warning. No entry without authorization.
science-y area, though.
Warning.
Level 4 security doors everywhere.
Warning. No entry without authorization.
Hmm.
Without authorization. Warning. No entry without authorization. Warning. No entry without authorization.
Oh, I guess they're not going to let me go up. Metroids. Because of course there were Metroids. Apologies, by the way, I record in 30 FPS and not 60 FPS, so the flickering on the tube is going to be real heckin' weird. I would love to record in 60 FPS, but it takes literally twice as long to convert videos if I do, and I found it was very difficult for me to keep up daily uploads if I did that. Like, I genuinely tried at one point, and I almost couldn't convert videos fast enough. So, my apologies. But yeah, of course they have Metroids here. Why wouldn't they have Metroids here? We're in a restricted laboratory. They had an SR-388 biome on here. So, yeah, there's that. We knew they were keeping Metroid information. Otherwise, how would have they gotten the Metroid vaccine that they gave us? Of course they were keeping Metroids. All of them, in fact. Cool. I think it was Samus Returns, the remake of Metroid 2, where they kind of retconned the Metroid's growth cycle and told us, and in that told us that this, what was called the larval form of the Metroids, is technically supposed to be their final form. They don't go anywhere beyond the larval form naturally. It was the weird energy that they introduced in Samus Returns. I forget what it was called. I keep wanting to say it was called Phase, but no, that's the planet that Phazon originally came from in the Prime series. I forget what it was. But the exposure to that energy is what made the Metroids grow in an abnormal life cycle. To grow up to be the Alpha, Beta, and Gamma Metroids. That is canon if you want to consider Samus Returns canon. As far as Metroid Fusion is concerned, Samus Returns didn't exist, of course, when Metroid Fusion came out. All they had was 1, 2, and Super. And in turn, as far as this game's concerned, they're not worrying about that energy. This is just, they're working on growing up the Metroids. More Metroids. That's a good sound. Got a Metroid lab.
Fire alert. This sector will soon be locked down. 60 seconds to isolation lockdown.
Oh, we should leave. Oh, the ceiling broke. Hey, we were just in this room. Look at these little dudes! We can interact with them, but they don't bother us because, you know, we're part of Metroid. We're like bros! Man, they are sure getting in the way a lot, though. And there goes that. Gee, I sure hope those Metroids are alright. Or, you know, actually, I hope they're all dead. I hope we don't have weird Metroid going everywhere now. Booster blocks. I was trapped. I was literally trapped. I had no other way out. It was... If I hadn't done that, I would have just been sitting there at the bottom of Nock, subsisting off X's for the rest of my conceivable life, and you never would have heard from me again. Dot, dot, dot. Yeah, I figured that one out. Oh, I'm sure. That's why you had the alpha and the beta and the gamma. I mean, we could have come to that logical conclusion. Oh boy, even Omega. Yeah, for peaceful reasons only. Friggin' Federation. Pretty sure... Before Fusion, we knew shockingly little about the Federation. Just some nebulous force that would eventually go, hey, Samus, we had trouble with this. Could you go do something about this? Samus goes, thumbs up, and goes and, like, blows up a planet. So Fusion introduced, like, a lot of the Federation doing some genuinely underhanded things, and also being kinda dumb. No, I don't like that at all. Yeah, that was the SAX. One of the SAX. I'm a little surprised. Actually, no, I don't. No, I don't know about that, actually. I didn't know anything about how they reproduce. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I guess. I'm gonna go stop at a lot of places. Do I have enough space between here and there to build up a Shine Spark? I do not. Sad day. Sad day. Ooh, that actually means that... So there is an item in there. You saw the speed booster blocks on both top and bottom. There is actually an item in there, and that actually puts that item in a really weird location to be able to collect. Because getting down there is, as far as I know, one way. or getting through there is, as far as I know, one way, and you are forced through a... If we can't get there now, then we have to get there effectively in post-game. And if we're getting there effectively in post-game, I think that's a one-way path with a forced navigation room on the other side. Ooh, that's real awkward. I don't know, I actually felt a little bit from that computer. Admittedly, this is the second time that we've been railed for something that we had no control over. And from a... I understand, like narratively, I understand what they're doing, but it doesn't feel super great. Like, you ignored your orders, and then Samus doesn't say anything. Just stays silent and takes it when, like, we literally had no choice. Both times. And they're not pulling the whole, like, Samus is a silent protagonist, because she did speak in that cutscene. So, feel just a little bad, honestly. At least, like, go off on him or something. Anyway, we're here now. In a place that looks like Torain. There's an item up there. Yeah, you still dink off him. I'm gonna do this in hopes that I can get up here. Yep, there it is. How do you get to that? Because I didn't lay a power bomb. I shot a diffusion missile, which... Ah, there we go. Ooh, can I, like, hit that? Get up there. Yee! Give me that. So a place that looks like Torain. That's not, you know, bad news at all. You guys trying to be Metroids or something? Doing a bad job of it if you are. Ah, save room. And now is probably as good a time as any to take a break. Until next time, everyone. Oh, I keep calling it Torain. I know it's Torian. Dang it. Old habits are hard to break. Until next time, everyone. We're still doing something. We were told not to stay put. And honestly, Samus pointed out that no compassion came from that computer, but I don't know. I felt a little something. It was kind of hard-nosed at the start, but as it went on, it was like, yeah, there are a lot of SAXs, and it knows where you are. Keep moving. Don't stop for nothing. Like, I don't know. I felt a little something. Maybe this computer's not so bad. It's got a job to do, but maybe it's got something deep down inside. Anyway, until next time, everyone, when hopefully we don't run into one of those, I guess now 9 SAXs.